Hello everyone and welcome to round 5 of the URL-GT1 Championship. Once again we are in France. We are at the Dijon circuit to mark the halfway point of our GT1 season. Qualifying was held in dry conditions and Peter Backus took the pole in his Maserati MC12 with a 1:11.1, 3/10 in front of Robert Horvat with another strong qualifying effort in his Lamborghini. In third was Michal Klisch, and then championship leader at the moment, Tony Ukic. In the AM Cup it was Felix Boucher, Fabio Bartolai and Sando Donadel making up the top three, and they were very close, less than 1/10 of a second apart, so it was said to be a hard-fought race. We also welcomed a new driver, Mihovil Markovic. Unfortunately, he didn't make it to the start of the race. So here is the URL grid once again. We have the Maseratis in first and fourth, team's championship leaders. Let's see who can get the best start. Slow start in the back it seems, and Alex Scott spears to the front. He's almost side by side now with Peter Backus. Around the outside into turn 1 will be very tricky, but and he has to settle for third. Michal Klisch goes a bit wide there, loses some positions into turn 1, and here is the whole field streaming through. Very nice circuit here in Dijon. Peter Backus held on to his pole position. A big slide from Alex Scott, and Miguel Santiago Carao is in fifth, just behind Tony Ukic. Bit of carnage there involving Sando Donadel in the back, going through the slowest section of the track, the hairpin here. Felix Boucher at the moment in 7th, and first in the AM Cup, being challenged by Peter Abelovsky. Florian Kutz is right behind him. Or this is Michal Klisch, I'm sorry. Florian Kutz is a bit further down. He didn't participate in qualifying. And Bjarne Christensen went off the track just slightly. He's in last position at the moment. Peter Backus crosses the line first. Robert Horvat, Alex Scott, Tony Ukic. Battle between Steen and Miguel shaping up, and also Matthias Christensen still running well. Getting passed now probably by Greg Metcalf. Greg goes for the inside, and he has the pass done before the braking zone into turn 1. So Greg also didn't participate in qualifying. He's going up the grid. And here we see Miguel Santiago Carao. He was in 4th. He now fell back, so he had a small incident with Steen Mikkel Olsen. And we will see here on the right is Steen just slowing down for Miguel to rejoin in front. With Greg Metcalf and Steen Mikkel Olsen. They touch, but they keep it clean. So Greg is in front at the moment. Let's see what happens. Starting of lap 3, Michal Klisch made a move on Felix Boucher, first in the AM Cup at the moment, and couldn't quite get the job done yet. Felix there to brake a bit later and cut Michal Klisch off. 1 lap later it was money time for Michal, and he did make the move stick for 6th position. Here Miguel Santiago Carao behind Florian Kutz and Fabio Bartolai. Fabio also running well in the AM Cup. He's in 7th, so it's not bad. And Greg Metcalf is right behind. Oh, a small collision between Florian and Fabio, and here is that group from earlier, Miguel, Steen and Greg. A couple of laps later they're still very close. Miguel goes a bit wide here in front, and This will give Greg an opportunity to make a pass, but around the outside here will be tricky. Steen goes for the gap. Greg was on the wrong place at the wrong time. Can Steen make it stick? Yes, he does. So Steen Mikkel Olsen up to P8. So Peter Bacchus in first position and making a big gap to the rest of the field. Here is Robert Horvat and Alex Scott completing their lap. So big gap, and Alex has been chasing Robert down for the whole first stint now. And here's a mistake from Robert, tank slapper, and he goes off the track, handing Alex Scott second position. So just before the pit stops, it's Peter Bacchus in first position with a very healthy lead. His pace was very good this race. And it's Alex Scott, Tony Ukic. Robert Horvat fell back to fourth after his mistake, followed closely by his teammate, and then Michal Klisch in P6, Steen Mikkel Olsen in P7, Greg Metcalf in 8th. We lost Miguel Santiago Carao due to an incident. Then it's Florian Kutz, Yevgeny Leonov, Matthias Christensen in first of the AM Cup, then Andrei Golubnici in second, Felix Boucher in third. Then it's Sando Donadel, Bjarne Christensen still running, and as I said, these are the retirements of the race as our leader comes into the pits and had a small incident with the wall there. We see what happened in the pit stop as well between Michal Klisch and Tony Ukic. Florian Kutz is the panels in front. They will exit side by side, and we see Peter Bacchus on the straight passing by, so he has a healthy gap to them. They will side by side, and then fate had decided that Tony Ukic's engine had to blow, so race over for Tony Ukic, and Michal Klisch will have to try and recover from that during the second stint, and he got into a battle with Greg Metcalf, trying to pass him with a bit of a damaged Panos going around the outside into turn 1, but that's very tricky, and Greg is having none of it. He stays in front in P7. Florian Kutz here, we see, is right on their tail. Michal Klisch going wide a bit, and he will let his teammate through into the hairpin, letting him have a go at Greg. They have been behind him for quite some laps now. 49 laps this race, so a lot of laps to be done. This was Florian's best opportunity, getting on the inside here in the last turn. Very, very brave move. Very much confidence between these drivers. But the Panos can't really get a good enough tow from the Corvette. Still side by side, Florian still has overlap, but now he doesn't anymore, so he has to swap in behind once again. Very hard battle here for the lower spots of the top 10, but still worth a lot of points. Then it was Matthias Christensen, who we see here in front in the Ford. He did not pit yet, so he doesn't have to let these guys through, but well, Greg got past. Now it's Michal and Florian's turn to try and get past Matthias and stay close to Greg to be able to challenge him to the end of the race. Oh, and Matthias is pulling to the right. He feels he has no gain here to stay in front of these guys and battle with them, only losing him time. He's in first in the AM Cup, so he knows what he's doing. Then Florian Kutz has a huge moment in the last turn, and he had to let his teammate back past, so that let Greg Metcalf get a bit of a gap, so no pressure from behind anymore. Then here Peter Abelovsky is in third, and Alex Scott just had an off. He had quite a big gap to Peter, but that's all gone now. Peter Abelovsky is right on his tail. Can the Lambo pass the McLaren? We will know for sure by the end of the race. The McLaren has some good straight line speed, so it will be almost impossible for Peter to get past him, at least from this far behind. And indeed, Peter couldn't get close to Alex. Had a huge moment here as well in the last turn, and he had to let his teammate Robert Horvat through for the last podium spot. And here they came up to quite some traffic. I think it's Bjarne or Matthias Christensen in front who moves over. I think it's Bjarne. And that's it for this Dijon race. Peter Backus will take a very, very dominant win. Will make a huge leap in the Drivers' Championship and earn some good, solid points for the team, as Tony Ukic didn't finish the race. So big congratulations to Peter Backus for the win. Alex Scott held on to second position with a good drive for URL Motorsports as well. Then it was Robert Horvat, as we saw, getting past his teammate Peter Abelovsky, who is still in traffic. That's Felix Boucher here, being lapped by Peter, still going side by side, so still racing until the end. Then it was Sten Mikkel Olsen. Second stint was very lonely for him. Greg Metcalf already past the finish line, driving backwards. Florian Kutz just behind his teammate Michal Klisch. Then it's Matthias Christensen taking AM Cup win, and the whole rest of the field, I will go through the results just now. So Peter Backus taking the win, 30 seconds in front of Alex Scott. Robert Horvat and Peter Abelovsky were not too far back. They will take the most team points here in this race. Sten Mikkel Olsen was in 5th and the last one to finish on the lead lap. Greg Metcalf, Michal Klisch, Florian Kutz. We saw that battle. Then Matthias Christensen, as I said, winning the AM Cup, 2 laps advantage over Sando Donadel, taking a strong second position. Then Andrei Golubnici in 11th overall, 3rd in the AM Championship. And the whole rest of the field, as we see, quite some non-finishers once again, but that will be hopefully different next week, as we are flying to Argentina to the Potrero de los Funes circuit, or shorter San Luis. Very tricky GT1 circuit, so we hope you stay tuned here on YouTube or join us at UnitedRacersLeague.com.